I'm so sorry about the beeping noise. That is one of my fire alarms. We have tried to fix it, but we can't figure out why it's still beeping, and the more we try to fix it, the more it beeps. So if you hear any strange beeping noises, I apologize. We're trying to work it out. It's, technical difficulties.
So what was it like finding Rue, channeling Rue, and just like picking her apart and putting her on the screen?
Right. It's the best, being able to create a character, and I'm lucky because the creator of our show, Sam Levinson, who's also directed most of the episodes, but Rue is also kind of like loosely based off his own life and his own experiences dealing and battling, addiction, and I really just, a lot of it had to do with just a lot of conversations with him. We become really close. I talk to him almost every day. And I've just been lucky to kind of sit there and have honest conversations with him, and he's been able to be such an open book. I don't know if I could do that, really go into those like darkest parts of myself, or my the things that go on in his head, or and he's just so open with me, and we just talk, and I feel that Rue is kind of like this beautiful blend of him and myself in a weird way. Rue is obviously very different from me, but there's something that feels like home to her. Something that feels very like, stepping into shoes that you somehow already worn before. So I never felt like I was like putting on a thing or doing a thing. I just felt like I was kind of falling into her a lot. And I don't know, she means a lot to me, I'm sure you can relate, but that feeling of like when a character feels like they're your sister, or they're your best friend, or there's someone in your life that you really, really care about. And so I really I care about Rue as if she's like someone in my life, like my little sister or whatever, and I just want her to be okay, and I want her to see these things, and I want her to make the right decisions. And so like everything that she goes through is it's painful to like go through it with her, because you just want her to be okay. And I know she's not a real person, but she is a real person, I think, because of the fact that that Sam wrote her, and she is so close to him in that way.
There's a specific monologue that you do, Zendaya. It's with Fez and Rue, and it's just after Rue leaves Jules's place in Worry, and Rue needs to find some stability, right? Rue needs to go back and try to medicate herself so that she doesn't, at least this is what I recollected from, she needs some kind of stability to make sure that she's okay, right? So I watched it, and I was like, oh my God, this girl is actually really like delving into somebody who is an extreme addict, but also someone who deals with anxiety, and who deals with just a multitude of mental illnesses that's hard for a lot of individuals out there. And some people medicate themselves, and it was so beautifully done. I just wanted to know how in the world, you're so welcome. I just want to know how in the world did you muster up to have all of that emotion and all of that anger, but also still shine through with just passion. It was beautiful. But yeah, how did you do that?
What's funny is because that's the one scene, I think, as doing what we do, we're always very self-critical of ourselves. So like I even say it to Sam to this day, but like I don't like the way it was edited together. I was like, there's better takes. So I'm not, like, me personally, I'm like, I'm not as happy with it as I wish, like, as I could be, which is funny, because I mean, I appreciate that people but that's just like me being in my own head and being ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, that day, that was a tough day. That was one of the scenes that was written in the script, and I remember reading it when I first read Euphoria, and I just remember going like, it was one of those scenes where I read and I was like, oh, like my heart was like broken for her, and I was so nervous about it, I was so nervous like the whole time I was shooting, because I was like, when am I gonna have to do that scene? When am I gonna have to do that scene? You know, like it's coming. I don't know if you've ever had that thing of like you got a big scene coming, you're like, oh, it's like there's so much nerves and a lot of excitement too, but a lot of nerves because I was just like, I just wanted to do it justice, and I wanted it to be as special as it was on the page when I read it. So I just wanted to like give it everything I had. And we were out there for like, I don't even know how long, a ridiculous amount of time. And Sam was just putting me through it. He was like, keep going, keep pushing, keep pushing. And I think it was a really emotional moment, because I think that's one of those scenes that, you know, Sam Levinson had plucked from his life, you know, and so I think it was emotional for everybody, and I think special because I think it's so important to have like an environment in which you feel that you can go there, or you can feel emotionally safe in a space where you can just be vulnerable and go as far as you can. And so I'm very lucky, down to like, you know, every crew member, everybody around just is so supportive and just give you the time to like do what you need to do. And you know, there's been times where like, you know, they'll come up to me after and they'll be like, you good? You know, I'm like, yeah, I'm good, man. Thank you. You know, so we're all like such a team, and I appreciate that, because, you know, it's like we have to have that safe space to be able to do the job, you know.
You worked with Hunter on the show, and she is amazing. I love Hunter. We've
Me too.
seen each other many, many times. I know you do. I know you do.
I'm like Hunter's biggest fan. I love her so much. She's so talented and such a brilliant part of Euphoria, and I'm so excited to see what she continues to do. She's yeah, she's so special, and I think anybody who meets her is like, she just has like this energy
Glow.
that's unreal. Yeah, I love Hunty.
So working with Hunter Schafer, as you know, there is a lot of topics of discussion in Euphoria around trans identity and how one moves in the world as a woman of that experience, right? What was it like also maneuvering in a somewhat platonic but also like deep relationship with a character who is of a different community?
Right. I think what's beautiful about rules. I was going to say rules because I'm so used to just putting them together.
That's what it is.
Rue and Jules' relationship it's just about, I think it's just pure love. They just, I mean, at least for what I can say for Rue, is just like from the first, I think it was like love at first sight for Rue. I think the first time she sees her, she's like, I have to be in this girl's life. I don't know what it is, but I want to be around this person. That's why she invites herself to her house. You know what I mean? The first time they meet.
Right.
And I think at the end of the day, I think much to what you were saying, how, you know, sometimes, you know, there's so many things going on in a show that you forget that the underlying thing is family, you know, for your show, and the importance of family and community. And for us, I think at the end of the day, a lot is going on in Euphoria, but when you get down to it, a lot of the times it's just a love story between two young people who are just falling in love with each other, and it's messy and it's confusing and it's scary, you know, especially when you add addiction into it, and you add, you know, codependency, and you add all these other things. But at the end of the day, it's a love story, you know, and they are just figuring it out as they go. And I think that was what was so special and so beautiful to me, is just bringing that to a screen. You know, it's just like as simple as that, you know, two people in love, and that's what makes it special, you know. And so, and Hunter, I think she's she's incredible, obviously, in the show, an incredible person. And I was just so lucky to be able to work beside her. And, you know, we instantly became very, very close and comfortable and safe with each other, which is so important. And I think another thing that Sam, because we only have one writer, which is Sam Levinson, and I think one thing he does very well is allows for all of the cast to really put themselves into the character, in the sense of, like, I don't even know all the conversations that, you know, Hunter and Sam have had, but I know they talk a lot, just as much as, you know, him and I do, and I know that those conversations lead into then who Jules becomes on camera, you know, and what he writes for her. So, you know, it's I think it's beautiful to watch her, because this was her first acting job, and, you know, to just jump into something like this and be so vulnerable, and, you know, be so open, you know, with her own experiences and her own stories with Sam, to create this character that is much like her and much not like her, but I think is just, like, blown away by it, you know. And so, like I said, I'm just lucky to be able to be, you know, part of that really, really special love story that I think hasn't been told or seen before. So, yeah.
I'm sure we all know that, you know, production has been postponed. And
Right.
how did you deal with that, knowing that it was postponed, and also knowing that there was a upcoming season being planned? What is that like for you, and how are you structuring yourself around that?
You know, it's so funny. So, well, it's not funny, but coincidentally, you know, we were supposed to go back to work. I believe it was like the 16th. It was going to be our first day, March 16th of shooting. And literally, like, 3 or 4 days before that, they were like, shut down.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, I think, towards when everybody was starting to go into quarantine and self-quarantine themselves. And so I was like, dang, I was so close, you know. We did, you know, camera tests and hair and makeup tests, and we got to see everybody, and we had the sets were built, and, you know, I mean, the scripts were written, and I was just so excited just to, you know, kind of go back home is really what it feels like, you know. But of course, this has all happened, and you know, I'm just grateful that, you know, I'm in the position I'm in. I can't, like I said, I can't complain. I'm very, very lucky to be safe and healthy, and still know that I have, you know, a job, Euphoria, that will be there when I'm done, when this is, you know, hopefully gets better. So I'm very lucky, and I wish more than anything, of course, I wish that I was working on it right now, because of, I know what's to come, and I know I just want to act at the end of the day, you know, like at the end of the day, I love my job, and I just want to be able to do what I love to do, and just, you know, make believe and bring Hertz back to life, and, you know, and I know how much, you know, she has meant to me, and I know how much she's meant to other people that have, you know, dealt with the same things, or are continue to, or are currently dealing with the things that she deals with, or and that's why I'm so grateful for Euphoria, you know, because I think Sam has been able to articulate, I think, a lot of feelings and a lot of internal struggles and dialogues that people don't really know how to really put into words, or I've never really outwardly seen so clearly. and that was, I think, all we ever wanted was for people to feel seen, you know,
Right.
through our work. And so that's all I want to continue to do, you know, is continue to show, you know, the human side of what addiction does to a person. And I want her to be okay, you know, like I was, so after the first season, I was like, I want to know what's going to happen to her because I just want her to be okay. So I know that there's so much special, exciting things that will hopefully come when we're able to do them and shoot them. There might be some changes or you know, new ways of how we're gonna have to do it, but it will be special when we get the opportunity to. So yeah, I don't know. I who knows what the future holds at this point, you know. But hopefully I get to go back to Ruru, you know. Hopefully I get to, you know, get back into my chucks and